Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
It kicks in. There we go.
Hi guys, it's Jen here from Australia's Capture Paranormal. Thank you for joining us, or for those who will watch us later on. This is our first Mediums Live for this year. We did quite a few last year, and we thought we would continue them. So in the middle we have Kate, the Hectic Hag from Hectic Paranormal down in Victoria. Hey Kate, how you going?
Good, thank you.
Good. On the other end, we have Sal from the Witchy Nook and Spirit Hands in Port Macquarie. Hey, Sal.
Hey.
Now, we were all just chatting like we do for the last half an hour, and a really interesting topic came up, and we started talking about that and forgot that we weren't live. So we'll probably bring that topic back up again, I think, later in this live. But hey, Kimmy, how are you? She's saying, hey, ladies.
What was that?
Okay, so if for anyone that has not seen us doing our Mediums Live, we just take this opportunity once a month to get together. All three of us are mediums, all three of us are witches. We come from different backgrounds. We are all very different, but very similar.
Spookily the same.
So we just get together and have a chat about all things mediumship, spirit work, how it works for us. And I guess we sort of compare our different styles and the way we do things, because everyone's spiritual journey is different. So anyone watching, hey Dave, how are you? Kimmy's saying love and light to you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Kimmy.
Yeah, so we're all very different, and everyone's spiritual journey is different. So, people watching might resonate with what I do, and think, oh, well, that's how I do it. But then, they might see something from one of the others that they think, oh, hang on, I'm going to try that. So that's the whole idea of this. But it's also too, as I just discovered, we seem, the three of us seem to push each other a little bit too, and when I mean that in a good way, we encourage, I should say, and
exactly,
yeah, and we're bringing up topics that maybe some of us haven't thought of yet, so we'll get into that a little bit later. So okay, Kate, we'll start with you. What have you guys been up to? What have you been up to over the crazy season?
Oh, so Hectic Paranormal's on a little bit of a rest time at the moment.
Yep.
We will be back in the next month or two to get all the more content out there for everyone to see what we're up to crazily.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been, for me personally, not just hecticness, I've been doing a lot of stuff on the old TikTok. I've actually been painting spirits, so that's been a beautiful thing to be able to sort of to delve into a bit more.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'll quickly show you something.
Yeah, show us.
So this isn't one I did.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! Wow! And who were you? Just sitting doing a meditation, or did she just come to you?
So I'm trying to build a little bit of a catalogue of spirits that I've come in contact with.
Okay.
If one decides that it wants its sort of a live portrait done, then that's totally fine. I'll sit and do it. But that these are ones that I've seen on my travels, and spoken to on my travels, and it's just nice to get them out of here and put them on the paper. Yeah. So and it's a lot, it's it's pretty busy in there sometimes, so it's nice to have that way of sort of getting it out, yeah, and honouring them too in some way. I mean, it's such a small way.
But to have actually something to look at, like I'm looking at you having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So when you connect with them spiritually, you've actually it would feel like you were talking with them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been a little wild ride, but I'm really enjoying it, and
Yeah.
to tangibly have their likeness in front of me instead of just in the
your head.
brain
Yeah.
is beautiful, and I'm really grateful that number one, spirit allows me to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's just their human likeness. It's not sort of what they are, you know, but it's really, I'm enjoying it immensely. So yeah, that's a little bit of what I've been doing. Yeah.
Right.
We keep losing you occasionally. I don't know whether it's your Wi-Fi or what's going on, but we just get the little spinning wheel. So you just keep talking and
that just must be you, because I get her all the time. I haven't had a spinning wheel yet.
Oh, great. So that's me. All right. So it's my internet.
It's never dull around here.
Especially when spirit's involved.
So what have you been up to, though?
Oh, well, being halfway between Sydney and Queensland, it's called the Do Drop In, especially over the Christmas holidays.
Well, I will be dropping in August, and
I know. Can't wait to see you. And we had a quick trip up to Queensland to see the mother-in-law over just after Christmas, and just got back into readings at the Witchy Nook in the last 3 weeks. So been busy at the Witchy Nook with full moon circles and workshops and stuff that Bianca's putting on. So
well, I can't wait to get up there because I want to do some of those workshops. So
well, she hasn't put up the August workshops yet, but I told you as soon as she does, your name's down on whichever ones are there.
I'm just going to, while we're chatting, I'm just going to make sure that we are connected to my computer, because we got so many trolls last week when we were doing our live. My page has actually been not hacked, but it's been copied. Cloned twice. So twice, like just last week. So
it must be the week for it. Mine got done last week too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like pains in the ass, and I've reported it, but then they tell me it's against their policy to delete pages. I'm like, it's not even a page. It's got one friend. Like, hello.
Yeah.
So anyway. Yeah. All right. So,
there we go.
Victor, hello. Great to see you.
Hello.
Hey.
Jem says hi from the kitchen, by the way. Hi, Jem.
Hello.
And hi to Shane and John Edwards. Hello, ladies. How are you all? We're fantastic.
Hey.
All right, girls, let's get into it. So first question is, when doing a reading, who do you bring in to help you? Is it guides? Is it angels? Kate, we'll start with you.
So I will bring in my spirit team.
Yep.
So that's got guides as well. But I also ask that the person I'm reading for, that their spirit team comes in as well.
Yep.
So
Okay. And what about you, Sal?
I think my guides are pretty much, as soon as I put on my reading jewelry, I'm standing in the background waiting anyway. And again, like Kate, I will ask the sitters guides to come through as well. So, but if it's real mediumship work, then they're people on the other side are sort of almost lined up. Sometimes it's a bit like that scene in Ghost where Whoopi Goldberg sits down and has everyone's spirit standing behind it going, my turn, my turn, my turn.
And when they're like that, how do you girls, how do you prioritize who comes through first? If you've got 4 or 5 spirits wanting to come through all at once, Sal, how do you work out who's coming, who you're going to let through first, or who you're going to listen to or try and connect to first?
Well, sometimes it's the loudest voice, the one that won't shut up until you go, okay, I'm listening to you now.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll just say, okay, just line up and just give me a couple of words, each of you at a time, so that I can work out or give that information to the sitter, and then I can work out who you are by what their reaction is to it.
Okay. All right, cool. What about you, Kate?
So I just ask them to do one at a time.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I'm one person.
Yep.
So well, one at a time, please. And they sort themselves out pretty quick. It's pretty good. It's fine.
It can be like being in a crowded room. So you go from sitting in a room solo, and then it feels like you walked into a room where there's a party, and there's so much noise and chatter that you can't. It's very hard to concentrate on what one is saying, because there's all that chatter behind. So it is difficult sometimes, if there's more than one, or there's quite a few, that you have to try and I just sit and feel their actual presence, not so much what they're saying. Try and feel their presence, and whoever feels stronger to me, I then try and I guess, it's a weird way of saying it, but it's like putting out a fishing line to that person and reeling them in closer, so that I can connect with that person closer. But at the same time, I'm saying to the others, I will get to you. I will get to you if I can. Like, we're just talking with this one first. So it can be difficult, because then they get excited, and their energy then ramps up, and you can be trying to keep that connection with this one, and they're all going, oh, but hang on, I've got something to add to that.
Yeah.
So it can be difficult, but no, that's interesting. It seems like we all do the same sort of practice, I guess. All right. How do you release energy after a reading? Sal, we'll go with you first, because you're the one that's doing the readings for public at the moment.
So pretty much between each reading, I don't do a lot of releasing between readings. I will sit for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and just shuffle the cards so that my energy is back in the cards, not the person I've been reading for. Yep. My biggest release is at the end. When I come home, I will actually light candles and lay in a bath.
Yeah. Okay. You must have a lot of baths at home then.
I do. Yeah, I love my baths, and nothing better than a glass of red wine.
Are you hiding your wine in your coffee cup tonight?
I'm not confirming nor denying that.
Good on you. Dave. Oh, okay. Dave and John are talking to each other. And what about you, Kate?
So I'm really lucky in the fact that after a reading, within half an hour, usually, I will not remember what was in the reading for a start. Yeah. And number two, I've created like little wash systems. So wherever I am, I can actually walk through that space and just get rid of the energy. So I either do that or I go for a walk. If I have the spoons. So if I can, or also too, to taking my mind and my body to somewhere else completely, like having a shower. So I don't do baths, because this little old meat suit isn't going to get me in and out of a bath, right? We literally just got the bathroom done and got rid of the bath, right? Okay. So I just have a shower. So I've got herbs and so on and so forth that I can pop in the shower. It's fine. It's the same thing. But that's one of several things. So that you find your kind of things that just work for certain times as well.
So I think for me, like I do basically very similar to both of you, but for me it's not so much the same way every time. It's whatever my body needs, and you can feel it. So sometimes you think, oh, I can just have a nice cold drink of water and a little cracker or something and shake it off. Other times it's like, oh no, I need to be outside. I need to be out in the breeze, out in the sun, whatever. Sometimes
on the grass.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, well, I need a shower. I need to get rid of.
Or sometimes you need a cup of tea and you lie down. Like,
just
depends, really. Yeah, the paranormal hangover. Like a lot of people think that's a joke, and it's not. It's when you're working with any type of spirit energy, it can be draining. And it's not just mentally, it's physically, it can be emotionally, you know.
And then you can have the other end of the wheel, I guess. It's like you do so many readings in a row that you're all hyped up.
Yes.
And you can't bring yourself back in, but because you're still, you know, hovering in that place, and you're just like, well, come on, you've got to be human now. Let's go and, you know, to do things.
Yeah, look.
So that can be hard, just as hard as, you know, clearing it all out. So, yeah.
I was very aware of that many years ago when I was doing sort of back-to-back readings. And after a couple, you know, the first couple that come in, you're like, hi, how are you? And you explain your process, and it's all nice and light and bright. And by the third or fourth one, I'm so pumped up. I'm like, hi, how you going? Blah, 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 blah. And they're like, holy shit.
Now can you imagine me after doing 32 readings in 2 days? I was not here.
No.
Actually, we've just got a question here. I've got Robert. Hi, ladies. Hi, Rob. Kimmy, I've heard of. Oh, hang on. No, we got Peter. It keeps flicking up. Do you ever go blank? Do you ever go blank, meaning you just can't get anything at all? And what do you do? Perfect. Love that question. Okay, Sal.
Yes, I have done in the past, and I will always tell someone, if I'm not getting anything, I'm going to tell you, and I'll give you your money back if you've already paid, or you don't have to pay, but I'm not getting anything. And sometimes it's them, sometimes it's me, and sometimes it's spirit, but it happens. It happens.
It's more likely, I've found, and I think it happens to all of us, where you're either getting nothing or it's really hard to keep the connection. Like I've explained before, is we need to vibrate higher to reach up to spirit, and they vibrate so high that they need to vibrate lower, and we need to meet in the middle. And holding that connection can be really difficult sometimes, or almost impossible. So I do the same. I always say, look, you know, I'm having a really hard time connecting. And then I talk to them about how they're feeling, because a lot of the time, like Sal was just alluding to, is that it could be their nerves, or it could be, you know,
I found sometimes when they're sick.
Okay, when they're unwell. Because I never, I can't remember. I shouldn't say never. I can't remember a time where spirit didn't want to come through. It was just that there was the energy in the room, whether it was me trying to connect to them or whether it was the sitter and their energy. There are hard times. So I do the same thing. I just explain to them what's going on. But then when you start talking to them about how they're feeling and about the whole process, that then relaxes them. And then as soon as they start to relax, that's when the connection can start. So what about you, Kate?
Look, it can happen from time to time. I probably can count on maybe 1.5 hands how often it's happened, but it does happen. And if you're just a sort of word of warning, if you're going to a meeting, I've never had a problem, I've always been able to connect, blah blah blah, for bull dust, because everyone has off days, right? So it can happen, and it's really the best policy. I know that sounds strange. Just go, look, I'm not connecting. Like, I'm so sorry. Here's your money back, or well, whatever. Let's reschedule, or if they're happy, But at the end of the day, we're not always 100% going to get there, going to do the thing. So having those moments of working through that and going, well, I wonder why we couldn't get a connection there, or am I okay today? Was the sitter going through something? Maybe spirit just didn't have anything to say to them, like that can happen.
All three parties. So the spirit, and the sitter, we're dealing with 3 different lots of energy here, and
Exactly.
we have to match it all up. And if one's out of sync, then it's going to be really hard to either get the connection or hold the connection. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think that, you know, we can and they don't understand our process either. And they just think that if I pay someone $50, bang, they're just opening up a door and they've got.
But it's the same it's the same as someone doing your eyebrows or doing your hair. You know, people can have a bad day.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
not and the connection's not there. So,
Yeah.
It's a bit like actors having understudies. That's why, because sometimes they're just not on that day.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
That's right. So, but that was a really good question, Peter. Thank you for that. Kimmy's also. Oh, hi, Sarah. How are you, doll? Kimmy's asking. I've heard of using essential oils to clear and cleanse. Is that correct? How about you, Kate?
I'm not a big. Look, some oils are great.
Yep.
Love them, but it depends what you're clearing. It depends what you're actually trying to achieve with that oil. So I have oils that I use my spell work regularly. I have oils to get my gumption back and get me going for the day. Like there's things like that oils in that way that I would use a lot. But it really depends. An oil by itself, 9 times out of 10 it is going to do bugger all to your space or clearing energies or to doing that stuff. It's like ingredients to a cake, right?
Yeah.
That there's ingredients that need to happen before you get a cake, right?
Yeah.
So an oil by itself, yeah.
What about you, Sal?
Yeah, agree. I use oils in conjunction with other things. It's not like just putting it in an oil burner and going, wow, I feel better now. It might make the house smell better, but it doesn't. It has to be in conjunction with something else. It's not, it's by itself. Plus, then you also need the intention that goes with using that oil in the first place.
Yeah, I was just going to say that exact thing is that, yes, oils will help, depending, like Kate was saying, depending on what you're trying to clear or what you're trying to achieve. But an oil on its own is just an oil. There has to be other elements brought in, depending on what you're trying to clear or what you're trying to achieve. But it is all about intention. Intention is massive in spiritual work. Intention is massive in witchcraft. And a lot of people don't understand that, or how to refine their intentions. So for me, I use oils quite a bit. A lot of it is in my spell work. A lot of it is in conjunction with different herbs. But for example, the only time I really use an oil on its own is peppermint oil when I've got a headache coming on. You should always mix your oils too. If you're putting it on your skin, you should always mix your oils with a carrier oil. So you can use olive oil if you haven't got anything else, coconut oil. I use almond oil. And it's just, I've got a little bottle now that I've just got for, I've got just headaches written on it. And I just roll it on my palm. And that's got peppermint oil and a little bit of lavender and something else. Can't remember what's in it now, with almond oil. And I just do that and inhale that. Now that'll help clear a headache. But if I'm trying to clear energy after a reading, I don't necessarily use oils. I'm more likely to go and do the grounding and have a cup of tea. And when I'm doing grounding, walking outside, I'm having a cup of tea. I'm putting different things into my body to basically push out that old energy. So I'm having a cup of tea. I'm connecting to the earth. I'm eating a bicky. I'm probably having a cigarette. You know,
we don't even didn't know that at all.
Whatever. But yeah, look, I think using the oils for just clearing, no, you need a little bit more than that. Dave is saying, can you please explain if or how it is possible to see spirit in a photograph when there is nothing there? Do you see
pareidolia
a plane as Dave physical form, an aura, or other? Sal?
Mine tends to come in more of a third eye kind of thing. So I'll see the photo as it is, but then I will have something, my mind's eye will put something into the photo. It won't actually appear in the photo because I'm not an orb person. I don't subscribe to orbs. 99.999% of orbs for me, dirt, dust, moisture.
Bug. Bug.
Yeah,
or a bug. Yes, or a bug. And 95% of the rest of it, as Kate said, is pareidolia.
Yeah. And that's what I think, Dave, I know Dave's into the paranormal. So I think maybe what he's talking about is when, you know, everyone puts up their photos and says, oh, look what I captured in the photo. I can see a face. And I think Kate's right. I think most of the time it is pareidolia. But our brain is, and I'm not technical, but I have read quite a bit that our brain is structured to when we to look for shapes, familiar shapes,
and make sense of what we're seeing.
Our brain is structures as humans to actually look for faces.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at let's say it's a paranormal photo and someone's chucked a dirty big red circle around a bit, right? This happens a lot. You'd be surprised.
Big arrow.
Amazing.
It is.
So, and I've even done it myself. I'm so guilty, right? But like we are going to look for a face as humans. It's part of our human condition to try and find another human face.
Yep.
So it could be a shadow on a window from a tree, right?
Yeah.
And if you look hard enough, exactly, you look hard enough, you'll see what you want to see.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like my rule of thumb with investigating is you go out on investigation and you've got the video and you've got the camera and you're snapping away and everything. If you have to, like, obviously, because my eyes are shit, I've got to wear glasses, but I will zoom in on a photo a little bit and have a look. But if I have to keep zooming and zooming and zooming, and it's not there. If you can't see it with a quick little zoom up and have a look, because you're looking at on a tiny little screen. If you put it on your computer, that I try and put most of mine on the computer because it's a bigger screen. If you can't see it on a good go around, like, nothing there, nothing there, nothing there, move on. But if you have to really open it up, it's more than likely pareidolia. Yeah. But in saying that, I don't know if you ladies saw the photo that we put up yesterday from Junee. That was not.
I commented on it.
Look, yes. At the end of the day, like, there's so many things that we can't explain in photos, right? And it's not saying that if you see something and you wholeheartedly believe that is what, you know, you captured a spirit in your photo.
Yep.
Awesome. But we've all got to remember that's our personal notice, right? That's our personal idea of what's happening. Yeah. Yep. And the thing is, just because I see it, and just because maybe Jen and Sal see it, so someone else might say something completely different, and that's okay.
Well, we had a really good example of that the other night. So Capture went out, we were with another team and we went out to one of their locations, and there was a photo on the wall of a nurse. And I hadn't seen it, but two of our girls had been to, I don't know whether they were together the first time they saw it or some stage they were together, and they both saw it. And one in particular was saying that the face on this woman I think it was the face or the chest looked like it was rising and falling. Like the photo looked like it was moving. And I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Like, where's this photo? And towards the end of the night, we were in that room and she said, that's it there. And I was looking at it and I was paying really close attention to it and I couldn't see it move at all. But then she's going, look, it's doing it again. And I'm like, now, it doesn't mean it wasn't doing it.
Exactly.
Because just because I didn't see it.
Right.
And that's what I said to her, like, that is so cool that you're seeing that. Maybe you're seeing that because you need to now investigate that photo more and that woman. Maybe there's something, some sort of message that spirit is trying to get through to you through this photo. Like, you know, if she, for example, if she goes and looks into this woman's life, there might be some sort of sliding door coincidence or something that happened in this woman's life.
Connection.
That's connecting them or that's happening in her life. So just because I didn't see it and somebody else saw it doesn't mean it's not happening for them.
Yeah, it's like some people on investigations hear the door slam and others don't.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Steps upstairs and no, I didn't hear it, but everybody else in the room heard it.
And that's just like when you've got the spirit box on and, you know, all three of us, all being mediums, all being witches, all being investigators, all being, you know, practiced in listening to that device, which is not easy, we can all hear totally different stuff. Different stuff. So, yeah, it's a very interesting question. Thanks, Dave. Oh, Sarah's on here and she was just saying that was Sarah who saw the photo. She said her face was morphing to her. So,
right.
And Sarah's just saying, I need to find out her name. Yeah, we might look into that, Sarah. I think that's a good idea. Now, Kimmy was just saying, going back to the oils again, I just remember a medium that would put oil on his wrist before the readings. And when he did it, and when he did an ending ritual, I didn't know if there was a reason for that. Kimmy, that's probably just his practice. So we all practice differently. The first thing I do is I put on my jewelry. I have different things, the way I set my table out with my cards. There is certain clothing that I will avoid. I try to stay away from dark clothing when I'm reading, because dark clothing absorbs energy. I like to be nice and bright, but that's just my process. So, and I know the girls will have their own processes. So, it might have just been an oil that helps him connect spiritually. It might have been an oil that helps him. So when I burn incense, right, like I've got friggin' dozens and dozens. This is just on my desk. And there's so much out in the lounge room. When I burn incense, then it's sort of like music. It can affect you in different ways. Some will make me feel really chilled and relaxed. Some will make me feel, let's get the housework done, like I'm really pumped. Others, I've got to be careful because I will connect straight away to spirit. Okay, so it might have just been his process. Hi, Louisa. Kimmy's saying that's so interesting. Okay, excellent. All right, so next question. How can you tell if there is more than one spirit coming through? Okay, well, we sort of touched on that before. And for me, it's usually, you can usually feel it, or it feels like a crowd behind you, or they can all start chattering. What about you guys, Sal?
Yeah, and just recently I actually had two ladies come through almost as if they were standing behind each other, and it took me a while to actually work out that there was two of them, because they were coming out with very similar information about how old they were, what they like to do and stuff, but then little bits of information, and I could just see them in my mind's eye. They just started to separate, but in the beginning they started out as almost the one person, until I started to give the information to my sitter, and she went, oh, well, that could be my grandmother on my mum's side or my grandmother, because that information fits both people. And it wasn't until I got more and more information that they actually then started to separate it, and I could actually get more information about the two of them.
Right. And what about you, Kate?
So I'm going to hear them more than I see them. So I'll get to two different conversations in my head at the same time.
Okay,
so it's all about listening for me.
Yeah. Louise is saying, how do you know what spirit is for what person?
Oh, they usually tell you who they want to talk to. Yeah.
And if they, for me anyway, they won't necessarily, like if I'm in a party, it happens quite a lot when I'm at a party and there's lots of energy around, and I'm like, whoa, okay, spirit's coming, because I've just had spirit come in now. I don't know if you saw me rub my arm, but I've just had spirit come in. But that's how it happens for me, is I'll be sitting there standing having a conversation with you, and then I get a whooshka or from the feet up, and I'm like, whoa, okay, we've got spirit. And I then sort of go into this weird mode of, okay, I'm talking to you and the words are coming out and I'm nodding and, oh, yeah. But I'm not concentrating on the conversation. I'm not concentrating on the conversation I'm having with you, because I'm then going, who do you want to talk to? And I will scan the room as I'm talking to the person, and I'm scanning and there'll be somebody that I'm drawn to. And I'm like, is it that one? And then nothing. If I get nothing, I'm like, okay, all right, I'll scan around. Is it that one? And then I get the whooshka, or like they're so excited. It's their energy. Yes. So that's how it works for me. What about you guys?
Okay.
So they'll tell me in no uncertain terms who they want to talk to usually. So, but yeah, it's really interesting, and being I guess so I'll get like the tingles, and my body will react, but the thing is, it's about, we're holding like for 4 or 5 conversations at the same time. So we're talking to spirit, but yet there's a person that we're actively having a conversation with in front of us, and there's other conversations over there that we're involved in, and that there's all this stuff going on, and it comes down to, it's fully multitasking. I'm just saying, but it comes down to sometimes we've got to say, hey, listen, spirit, I'm doing my human things right now, and I can't look like I'm zoned out because this person is talking to me. So because I'll look blankly at people and they're like, you're not there, are you? What are you? Who are you? And my hubby always says to me, who are you talking to? Like, because he knows that I'll be talking to someone in spirit.
Rob knows from that stare that I get, which is like,
yeah.
That's the one.
Or he'll be saying to me, Jen, and I'm like,
huh?
And he's like, hello.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah. And for me, when I'm just doing readings one-on-one, I will actually, if somebody says, can I bring so-and-so with me? I always say to them, yes, but be aware that whoever you bring with you may bring their spirits too. So I can't guarantee that the reading is only going to be your reading.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. So that's another thing that you have to make your sitter aware of if they bring somebody with you, with them.
Yeah, right.
But sometimes they can be out in the other room and you can still get a message for them.
Hey, I got a message for you, and you were like 5 hours apart. So, I was trying to connect for somebody else, and then I got a reading for you. But Kimmy's also saying, have you ever had a negative impact from a spirit you wouldn't want to connect with? I might start with that one. And I don't want to give too many details, but many, many years ago, I had a very close friend. that I had gone to school with and I had lost contact with, and we got back together and everything. And one of her relatives, close relative, had passed away, and she asked me to try and reconnect. And I knew this relative very well, and I tried to connect. And the minute that I tried to connect, I just got a feeling that I've never had it since, but I got a feeling that was very uncomfortable. And I pushed through because I thought, she's my friend, she's grieving, she has come and asked me to connect, and I have this ability to maybe bring some peace for her. So I pushed through that uncomfortable feeling. Now, what I brought through was not the energy of a person, but an energy of an event. And that event was a very violent death at someone else's hand. So I actually got to see this person that I knew violently being attacked by someone she knew, and I got to see it all. And this was going back in my 20s, so I wasn't able to recognize the warning signs of bad energy. I also wasn't mature enough in myself or in my spiritual development to be able to block that visual out. Now, I remember that visual and that energy stayed with me for nearly 2 weeks afterwards because I didn't know how to clear it. So it is something now that even now when I bring up, as I'm talking about, I'm starting to see little flashes, and I'm going, nope, we don't. We're talking about it. We're not seeing it. I'm protecting myself from that because I'm able to do that now. But back then,
exactly.
And I think the moral of that story is you never know what's going to come through, who's going to come through, whether it's a darker entity, whether it is someone that has done bad things that maybe you don't necessarily want to see. You don't know what's coming through. So that is one of the reasons you need to protect yourself. And it's not just about protecting yourself at the beginning of a reading and then clearing at the end. All the way through, you need to reassess with every bit of information. Basically, am I feeling comfortable? Am I feeling safe? Is this information okay to bring through? Am I feeling okay with this connection? Because now if I'm not, you never want to tell a setter, look, this person that you're trying to connect with, they've got a gross energy and I don't want that. I don't want to be picking up on that. You can't say that to somebody, but I will block that energy if it's really bad. And these days I can handle more than what I could back in my 20s. But if it was really bad, I would simply just put up my wall, block myself, protect myself, and say to the sitter, I'm losing the connection. And that's not a lie. I am losing the connection because I'm choosing to lose it. Do you know? So what about you guys? Kate?
So I guess it comes into boundaries that we have as individuals and what we to choose that we will let ourselves be around and what we won't. So I remember a long time ago. Now, I don't remember a lot of my readings at all. I can probably count them maybe on two hands, one hand. Like, it's not, but there is certain readings that I do remember because they taught me something really valuable.
Yeah.
I remember years and years and years and years ago, I was sitting and I was doing a reading for this guy. We're not going to do details because we don't do that. But he had a massive choice to make, right? And all of his spirits around him were calling him out on his bullshit and his really icky behaviour.
Yep.
And telling me what he'd been doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, I'm going to put this boundary in right now. I don't want to hear one more thing about this because I need to tell this person who's sitting in front of me some really hard truth.
Yeah.
So And I felt like every fibre of my being was being, sort of bombarded with all of this information.
Yep.
That of this person that was sitting in front of me wanting a reading, and I'm like, ugh. So my human little me felt real icky about it.
Yeah.
And I had to actually ask his spirit team to stop showing me what he'd been doing.
Yeah.
So it's really hard, and as you progress as a human, let alone as someone who is a medium and does readings, as you progress, you learn, and you understand better for yourself how to adjust to situations as they pop up. Like that, there's one certain spirit who, if I go to a certain jail, he'll be there. And we've actually spoken about this, you and I, Jen. And he'll stand right behind me. And I actually painted him the other day, so that was really cool.
Okay,
I did, and so that means now that he knows that I'm done. I don't want to see him again.
Yeah.
So he will find me and be there, and it's not to I guess connect with me in a way. It's just to be a menacing energy, and that's what he does. That's
yeah,
it is what it is. But it doesn't mean that I need to let it affect me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What about
it's interesting.
I've had a few that I've had that I've not liked. I've felt that the spirit hasn't had soul growth on the other side, and that their actions and behaviors on this plane haven't acknowledged as being bad, wrong, whatever else. And then having the sitter sit in front of me and tell me that this person had done all of these things and they were such a really nice person, and I'm getting conflicting information from spirit.
Yeah.
So that's
they will throw rat on people. They absolutely will.
Absolutely. Yeah. So for me, that's a conundrum in itself, is how do you say, oh, well, I'm glad that's how you feel about them.
Well,
because that's not what I'm getting.
Yeah, that comes into the next question that we're going to talk about. But yeah, I think it's it's like if I am out at night time, do I walk down, do I physically walk down the street with the light on, or do I walk down the dark alley? It's a choice that you make. It's a boundary that I'm putting for my physical self. No, I'm not going to walk down the dark alley because that's dangerous.
Yeah.
So, I'll walk down the one with the light on. And I guess that's what we do, is that we keep our light on to protect ourselves.
Yes.
So, all right, have you oh my gosh, that's awful. How do you, these messages, hang on a sec, I'm just trying to catch up. How do you clear it? How do you clear? Is it the same for psychic readers? Look, I'm not quite sure what you mean there, but so a reader, so all three of us read. Sally's the only one that's actually reading for public at the moment. Anyone working in the spiritual field in mediumship, whether it be whether they're working, I think what she means is the difference between a medium and a psychic. So psychics should be clearing, they should be grounding, they should be protecting, the same as a medium, because they're working with energy, and they're basically working, they should be working probably with their spirit guides as well. So I'm not 100% sure, sorry Leanne, what you mean by that one. Kimmy says, I feel as though as I'm learning to connect with spirit, I sometimes get a negative energy come through, so I end the connection as I'm scared of what I might bring in. Look, that could just be an intense energy that's coming that you're not used to feeling yet, that might be feeling negative, but you're doing the right thing. If you're not comfortable, then disconnect with it. What do you guys suggest? The same thing?
You don't have to. You don't have to go in all guns blazing and to do all the things all at once. To take your time with it and give yourself the grace and honor yourself by going, you know what, that feels not right to me. I'm going to go. I'm just going to stop for now and reassess it, and we'll try again later on and see what we do. But really try to not rush into it all. I know it gets exciting when you start connecting and you really want to go for it, but
yeah,
having those moments of quiet discernment and going, you know what, I'm okay just to stop for now. I'll go and do something else and I'll come back.
And I think that's a good sign for you, Kimmy, that so many people that work or claim to work with spirit have an ego.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you, at this point in your development, are saying, well, hang on, there's something that it's not feeling great for me, and I don't really know how to handle it, so I will disconnect. That is great, because it means not one of these gung-ho, I can do it all, I know what I'm doing. So keep that attitude. Really keep that attitude. So important.
And it could also be, sorry, Jen, it could also be her guides on the other side telling her, step back, this isn't great for you either.
Exactly right. And until you work out the difference, because you're, I got it. I don't know if you can see.
Same.
Until I was just about to say something and they went, yes, say that. Until you can feel the difference between your guides and other spirits coming through, that is hard. Okay, that is
maybe sit with your guides and your spirit team for a little while, but before you start jumping into trying to improve them at mediumship or psychic side.
They have a very different feel, a very different energy, a very vibe to them, and it does take some time. And I know probably the next question that someone's going to ask is, how do you connect to your spirit guides? That's a whole different.
That's a whole nother live. That's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother live. We don't have time right now. Okay, just putting it in there.
But you will know the difference. And I'm not sure how long you've been on this journey or how old you are, but it's not something that you can just click with and get going and you know it all. You consistently evolving and changing, and you'll change, and your spirit team.
I was going to say your guides change.
Yeah,
it's a pain in the butt. You just get used to them and then gone.
Yeah.
They subbed out.
You just get used to your ability, and you sit in a comfort zone of going, well, I know that I can do this and I can do that, and that'll come through. And then all of a sudden one of them will stop and you'll think, oh shit, hang on, what's going on? And then you'll start to panic, and then the self-doubt comes in, and all that is that your guides are now saying, well, okay, you've mastered that part. We're going to throw something else at you to broaden and to grow your abilities. And it happens to all of us, and it happens not just once or twice, it constantly happens. So what else have we got? Okay. Louise is saying, very interesting, ladies. I have to say goodbye for now. Love your show.
Thank you.
Okay, Leanne, how do you choose? Can you hang on, I don't know. I didn't know there was a difference between a medium and a psychic. That is really interesting. Can you explain a little more? Okay, who wants to...
That's a whole nother show too.
Okay, so you got
Do you want
this
me
one.
to do it briefly?
Yes, do the brief.
The brief
Just do
version.
the thing.
I think we'll tell you what's
Can we-
happened in the past,
Sorry, can we
happening
talk
around
about?
you now.
Sorry, can we talk about mediums, psychics, psychic mediums, please?
Okay. So a psychic will be able to tell you what's happened in the past, what is happening around you now, and what may happen in the future given free will, because they are reading your energy as it stands right now. As a medium is someone who can connect to spirits that have crossed over and give you absolute proof that they are connecting to the other side by giving you information that only you and them would know. That's called, if you like, evidentiary mediumship. That term's only been used recently, but anyway. And a psychic medium will have both abilities and usually is stronger in one than the other. But I personally believe that you can be, if you are a medium, you are a psychic, but you don't necessarily, if you are a psychic, you're not necessarily a medium.
Exactly. Exactly. So all of us should be able to, yes, Rob's just up here.
That's not fair. We want what to not fair.
I haven't finished my coffee yet.
I'm running out.
Gets down to Victoria. Can I get tea, please? That's exactly right. Not all psychics. Like if they say that they're psychic, they can't bring spirit through. Okay. If they say that they're a medium, they should. They're bringing spirit through, and they should be able to read your energy. Okay. And like Sal said, a psychic medium is doing both. Now, if someone says that they're a psychic and they're going to bring through your dead grandmother, run. Run, because they don't even understand the terminology that they're supposedly working in. So if they say, oh, I'm a psychic and I can bring your grandmother through, no, mediums or a psychic medium can bring your grandmother through, not a psychic. Okay, so that's the difference. And that is the biggest thing. I'm glad you asked that question, because that is the biggest thing, that the biggest misunderstanding about this whole field. And this is where the charlatans come in and take your money and, scam people, is because not everybody understands the difference between those. Okay, so what about if they use the word clairvoyant? I'm a clairvoyant.
That just means they hear things, see things. It doesn't mean that they have the ability to connect with the other side either. They hear voices, they see. So for me, they still needs clarification.
Yeah, that's right. So there's so many phrases in this field that get thrown around willy-nilly that sound pretty or sound cool or sound more professional. And
they change all the time.
Yeah.
So right, got me the other day, because I spend a lot of time on the old TikTok, right? but right. So we're an intuitive.
Oh yeah.
Intuitive, psychic, medium, clairaudient, tarot reader, and a shaman.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Right. I'm going to call. Like, can you just pick one, love? Because that'd be great. Because you're confusing the absolute living shit out of everyone. And if you're a shaman, I'm the Pope.
Yeah.
So, like, when you start to pull these names, like we need to name things. Humans do that, right? So we know what they are. Okay. We need labels, right?
Our ego then wants us to make that name really fancy.
Oh, hell yeah. Ego is an amazing thing, right?
Yeah.
But when you strip it back, that person read tarot cards online, and that was that.
Yeah.
Right? That they knew the meanings of the card, that's amazing. But all the rest of the stuff, no, thank you.
See, I've
yeah.
recently watched a live of someone that was claiming that they're a medium. Now, I've been in the presence of this person, and I didn't pick up myself that they had that ability, but who am I? Like, I thought, well, maybe. But just things over the period of time that they'd said, and I'm like, that if you're a medium, then you wouldn't be using those terms. But anyway, so I watched this, and they explain their process like we all do. And that every TV show you'll see a medium saying, this is how I like Tyler Henry, like this is what the process is. Okay. And then it went into I'm going to do cards. Okay, fine. So sitting there shuffling the cards, and they're flying out, she's picking them up, putting them back in the deck. And I'm like, what are you doing?
The ones that are flying out are the ones you're supposed to look at.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm like, oh, okay, my head's going to explode, but I've got to keep watching it. It's like watching a train wreck. So the cards come out, and picking the cards up and turning them around. And I'm like, what are you doing? They're falling out that way for a reason. You don't turn them around. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, well, I know where this is going. And then it became very clear that they had no idea what they were talking about. And someone off camera that was filming them was suggesting what they might be getting through cards.
What?
But that's not okay on any level.
No. And then they were going to finish that reading, and then they did the reading and then said, now I'm going to ask Spirit what they think. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Haven't you just been connecting with Spirit? So, and then
apparently not. Apparently not.
This bit just absolutely blew my mind. Thank you. My coffee boys just dropped off my cup.
Good boy.
So jealous. Totally jealous.
The next part just blew my mind. Sitting there and said, yeah, now I'm going to ask Spirit what, to come through and guide me. And I'm like, well, honey, that's supposed to have been happening already.
But that horse is bolted,
and
love.
It went like this.
Oh, where were they?
To talk to Spirit. And I'm like,
oh no.
God. Oh my God. And
look, people, discernment, please.
Yeah.
For the love of all the goddesses, discernment. Just really investigate and try your best to understand the terms that are used. Understand what happens in a reading. It's horrible to see that.
Yeah. And the other thing too is like I want to talk about our appearance. We all dress differently. We all wear different jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Some will stick to certain colors. I know, Sal, you're a purple girl. Yeah. I'm purple occasionally, blue, black. Kate, you're black. Yeah, we know you're black. It's what we feel comfortable in. But if this person actually had a T-shirt, I think it was a T-shirt on, but then had, in the middle of summer, had this scarf swept around them. And I was like,
I've done that for fancy dress.
Yeah.
So
it sort of reminded me of the thing in the movies over the Christmas ball in the caravan.
That is the so many thoughts. So many thoughts on that. Because it's number one, you're appropriating cultures to start with, right? Now, number two, there again, you're giving certain people a bad name, right? And the thing is, we're regular humans. But if I wear earrings or don't wear earrings, that's got nothing to do with me talking to someone's dead great grandpa. Like,
that's right. Exactly. It's style. So just be aware. What I guess I'm trying to say here in a roundabout way is just be really careful about the ones that look very flamboyant, over the top, like they're trying to look like a medium, or what I guess Hollywood would describe as a medium or a psychic or something. If they got the big flowing robes and all the jewelry, you don't need that. I mean, some people, you got to be careful, I guess, because some people,
that's their aesthetic, right? We get that. We understand that there is some beautiful people out there who have the witch or aesthetic down pat, right?
Yeah. But
it doesn't necessarily need to be like that.
Yeah, you've got to be really careful, because a lot of people believe that if they look the part, that they can do the job. Not necessarily. And if I stood up now, you would see I have pajama pants on.
I can neither confirm or deny. Like I may also have said pajama pants on. We don't know.
Okay. Dave is saying, what are some books that have helped you early on, or can you recommend to newbies to help build their intuition and their other clairs? Sal?
I'm not sure that I've actually had any books that I've really read a lot of that have helped.
While you guys are talking, I'll just go and have a look at my bookshelf. Hang on a sec.
Yeah. I tend to read really widely, so I'll probably take bits and pieces out of everything that I've read, rather than there being one in particular that I've taken something out of. I guess more of my witchcraft sides come from learning about it from books and that kind of stuff, as opposed to my abilities probably have grown through mentors rather than through books.
Yeah. What about you, Kate?
I have literally in the last few years gone through a whole sort of really microscopically looking at my practice. So rereading the books that I've had, to not throwing away, but giving away, but books that I don't find helpful and all that sort of stuff. And I'm at pains to say that I don't actually have any books to recommend at the moment, because a lot of the books that we have in Australia are really taken from sort of Wiccan vibes. There's a lot of let's collect things from closed practices, other cultures, and just put them in one book and say that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So I've really tried to sort of deconstruct that in my own practice and path for myself. Look, everyone else to do what that they want, and they'll find what works for them. But for me, that definitely the last few years has been right. What can I find that actually sits good with me, and isn't sort of gleaning from other people's practices and cultures. So that's a really interesting thing to start to look in, especially in Australia. Because we are in this little bubble, and we're, as you know, we try and we want to learn all the things, and we want to do all the things, and stopping and going, well, where does that actually come from? Can I research this a bit more? We have amazing. We have Google. But can I find out more about this and what's just in this book? So
I found. Earlier on, I really looked towards books. This is before the internet, for all you people that don't remember.
Same. It's the same.
So before the internet was around, kiddies.
We were young whippersnappers.
Yes. And we just jump on and go blah, 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 blah. We actually had to go and find and source information that was
all the secondhand bookstores that you trolled.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
exactly right. Or the library where you may not have taken them all back.
Whoops.
Whoops,
Don't know what you're talking about.
wasn't me. Sorry,
Rebel.
But I found it, I knew something was going on with me. I had always known something was going on with me, and it was about me accepting that and deciding, well, I'm just not going to sit there and let it just come and go as it pleases. I want to learn how to work with this and how to control it and how to develop it. And the only way I knew back then was through books. And you know, you do. So I bought books and I read them on what's his name? The first book I ever read was John Edwards. Okay. James Van Praagh.
Yeah.
Like the older guys. And it wasn't so much like I remember I used to do a lot of reading in the bath. And I remember sitting there one night reading this, and it was what's his name? John Edwards. And he was going on about, oh, this is what it's like, and this is how it is. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm soaking it all in. And then he said something in particular, and I'm like, that
doesn't resonate at all.
That doesn't suit me. How can that? I don't believe that. And then I thought, oh my God, okay, well, I've got to deal with this. I've got to learn how to accept this and deal with this, because this is how it's done. And I think, hang on a minute. No.
No.
And that's realized that I can read 20 books. I don't, and I can pick
bits. Exactly what I did. Yeah.
Yeah. From each of those books that resonates with me and that I actually believe in or I have experienced. So I think those books, any well-known, well-regarded medium, and I would start with John Edwards because it was an easy read, and he explains, what's it called? Was it Crossing Over?
Crossing Over was his first one with the blue one.
Yeah, the blue one. So Crossing Over, John Edwards, is a really good book because it explains how he came into understanding himself and his connection and everything. James Van Praagh had a couple of good books. Who else?
Who did Sensing Spirit? Because that was another one that I got a lot out of too. I can't remember.
But I would go back to the older guys doing it. I love, my favorite is Tyler Henry. His process is just amazing. But go back to the older guys and Alison
Dubois. Yeah.
Read hers, and that was, for me, that was like, whoo, okay.
Yeah.
But I find in my practice now, if I look at it, I've got bits of things that I learned from them that I've then morphed into my own thing along the way. But these days, I learn more now from experimenting, experiencing, and connecting with people like you guys and sitting and talking about it. And I was in the States and I ran into a woman and we automatically connected, and she's so beautiful. And it works out that she's a medium, I'm a medium. Our energies just mixed really well, and it was that like a really nice connection, and I learnt stuff from her. So yeah, I think the best thing to start is to read, educate. However you want to do that, whether it be in books or now you can do it on the internet. But just be careful that you're not taking on 100% of everybody else's stuff. Read it. I used to always, like, this is another one I read. Okay. Ted Andrews. Now, it's very old. It's all its pages.
Is it psychometry or?
Stimulate your I can't remember. It's been so long since I read it. Stimulate your psychic senses. Learn to see through touch. So yes,
psychometry.
Locating missing persons and articles and that sort of stuff. So it was, what is an empath? And understanding that. Psychometry reading, the basics to psychic touch. So all that helped educate me. So just educate yourself as much as you can. If you've got any questions, contact one of us. We can help you. Oh, okay. Okay, so Kimmy's saying, always felt like a witch, only started accepting my gift this past year. Now, I just want to clarify that too. And this is just my opinion, but I'm sure the girls can also have their 2 cents. Being a medium or a psychic medium is very different to being a witch. In many ways, being a medium and doing that sort of work is it's a ability. It is sometimes it is a lifestyle, I guess. But being a witch is more about lifestyle than anything else. You live and you breathe it. They do cross over. What do you girls think?
I find the two are very separate for me. I mean, I get called a witch because I can do what I can do.
Yeah.
But John Edwards is a strong Catholic. He's a strong Catholic, John Edwards. So
yeah.
and so you don't have to be a witch to have the abilities.
Yeah.
But you do get called a witch when you do have those abilities. Erroneously, but yes, that can happen. My witchcraft practice was much stronger in the beginning than my abilities. So, yeah.
Well, see, I had my abilities came in first, and my witchcraft has only evolved probably in the last 8 years. I mean, I always had it, but I wasn't living. It wasn't.
Yes.
I always had the interest, but I'm now fully immersed in it. It is a lifestyle. It is part of me. What about you, Kate?
Look, the abilities, for want of better terms, that they've been there since I was little. But the witchcraft path that developed for me over time. So I've been doing it for a long time, but behind closed doors, so some of it. But because, you know, you worry about, when you're younger, you worry about what people think of you and all the things. And I don't want to be told that.
You're waiting for him to turn.
I fully came out of the broom closet a fair few years ago now, so I'm good. But the thing is, it's about you build your path. You can have a path in witchcraft where you can be a medium, and where you don't be a medium. It's up to you. It's like all Wiccans aren't witches, and all witches aren't Wiccans, right?
Yeah, I'm not Wiccan.
It's the same thing. I'm not Wiccan.
I'm not Wiccan, but I do believe some of their practices.
Exactly.
I didn't feel like I fitted into a mold, either on my mediumship or in my witchcraft.
And as you get older, I think that happens more and more for people. We find what fits for us.
Yeah.
And also too, we start challenging the things that we've heard, and we start going, hang on. My teeth are a bit longer now. Well, what's that? You know? Yeah. So it's very interesting, because you can be a psychic, a medium, and a witch, or you can be none of the above and just be a witch.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So being a witch is more about, like Kate was saying, if you're a witch, you don't necessarily have to have any ability, because witchcraft is a lifestyle. It is a belief. It's
a belief system.
Yeah, it's immersing yourself into a lifestyle. And it's not like you can go, right, well, I'm going to be a witch now, and this is how I'm going to live. It is something that happens progressively over time. And like you girls, you know, all three of us have had psychic abilities and mediumship abilities from tiny, like little kids.
Yep.
We weren't all necessarily witches when we were little.
But we
I
like playing in
question
mud
that,
and
though.
making pies, and yes, exactly. Yeah.
I questioned my own as a child. I was
Same.
making my mud pies for my pony.
Me
So
too.
I'm just going
Absolutely.
to put that out there. But and gathering berries and stuff to
Yep.
use in my cauldron when I was little,
Yes,
and I'm
same.
like, hey, hang on, there were signs that there totally was.
And just having all these glass jars, and you're pouring mud into one glass jar and stirring, putting sticks.
Absolutely.
Come on, I mean, really.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you know, you can't be a witch if you're not psychic. So I just wanted to clarify that. So when we talked about the differences between mediumships, psychics, mediums, psychic mediums, there's also the, you know, witch or warlock, but I'm thinking that most talking witches now. We don't really.
Well, warlock is an oath breaker. That's what it means. A witch is a witch. You can be a man, you can be a woman, you can be non-binary, you can be whatever you want and be a witch. It's as simple as that.
And the thing that, I mean, some people will have their witchcraft in Wiccan. I myself, you know, I will look at the Wiccan and take parts of that fit for me, but I don't sit with Wiccan. And I don't think either of you, I don't know, do you, Sal? No.
No, so, I started off being Wiccan, but I've sort of grown out of it. And
I think I lasted nearly a year and went, no.
Yeah, no.
But why did you guys start in Wiccan? Is it because you believed you had to be Wiccan to be a witch?
No. It
was
just an ordered way of doing things.
Exactly. Yeah.
That showed you how to do ceremonial things and all of that, which looks great on the surface. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But the nuts and bolts of it, I was too far. Like, no, why do I have to do that for? No.
Yeah.
Like I was getting away from organised religion, and this was kind of going back that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Dave is saying a shaman, a psychic, and a medium walk into a bar. Okay, hang on a minute. Let me read. The shaman will question why you walked into the bar. The psychic said, I knew you were going to walk into the bar. The medium says, I'll have a Long Island iced tea.
Oh, good goodness.
Hang on, where's this going? That's funny.
That time of the night, isn't it?
Yeah.
Leanne is saying, is anyone else getting an Arabic red blue screen male voice jumping in?
No.
Let's hope not. Okay.
Let's hope not.
Saying, I read my own oracle cards, but I have a strong belief in witchcraft. But that's really all. That's fine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you do your own thing, girl, because we're all, well, we all are mediums and we all are psychic and we all are witches. We all do our practices very differently, and that's the whole point of doing lives, is to let people know what we do and to show that we are all very comfortable in where we sit with our own practices, even though they're very, very different. So you just keep doing what feels right for you, and don't freak out when that, because it will, that will morph and change and new things when they're supposed to. Universe will send you what you need and will give you that little push. So every time you get something coming your way that you feel connected to, take it on and learn from it, because
when it feels scary and exciting at the same time, go for it.
Yeah, and you know what? You can, like most of us, you can do all that stuff behind closed doors privately and trial it out and test it. You don't need to announce it to the world that you're doing this or trying something.
We don't need to tell everybody all the things all the time.
No. And, you know, like, all right, so you were saying, how long have you been out of the broom closet, Kate?
Oh, good
So when
God.
we
I
talk
don't
about
know
that, we
now.
mean the fact that we're putting our hand up saying, I'm a witch, and if you don't like it, that's
It was
okay.
definitely probably to 20s, mid-20s, early 30s that I really just stepped out and was reading publicly and all that stuff. So, yeah,
So fully
probably
immersed,
around then.
caring what people think.
No cares given, no give a shits, probably late 20s, early 30s.
Okay,
Yeah.
what about yourself? Very different for me, which is interesting. What about you, Sal?
So I probably started opening the broom closet in my mid-20s, but my defining moment was at 30. I got a pentagram tattooed on my bum with my
You go,
dragon
girl.
and
What?
with my
Put it
dragon
on your ass.
Well, because it kind of still felt a bit private at that stage, but yeah.
Well, that's a very private spot. Oh,
Exactly.
just saying.
Yeah, it's not like I was bearing my ass to the world, but unless I was
You
wearing my
sure?
bikini. Well, if I had my bikini on, not that I would wear that ever now. But that defining moment was when I turned 30. I got the pentagram and the green dragon tattooed. So yeah, I can actually pinpoint it.
For me, I'll use the same analogy as I opened up the broom closet very early on, but I've sat in there hiding for a long time. For a number of different reasons. One was a time factor with just, raising kids and that's another one was illness. My abilities, been up and down, and I didn't have time to be able to, with my illnesses, to be able to put in the energy that I needed into that. So I've always, from probably late 20s, I've had that broom closet door open and I stepped into it. But I've sort of been hiding in there for a long time. And it's probably only been the last, to be honest, since COVID, I guess, and not because of COVID, but just where I am 100%, I am a witch. If you don't like it, that's okay. If you don't understand it, that is okay. And I don't have those nerves of, saying, oh, I'm a witch. Like,
Look, I don't think it's really.
You were out and proud by then when we first met.
Not as a witch.
Okay.
Not as a witch.
It's interesting though. Like
I felt comfortable with the people that I knew were in
yes, there you go. Yeah. So we pick our battles, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to walk into the middle of Woolies and walk up to someone and go, witch, and we'll walk off. Like, no, right? So you pick your battles. If someone asks you, you'll tell them. But apart from that, it's not. It just is what it is, and you don't have to like.
Yeah,
you go to a stand.
Actually, I don't even have my pentagram on at the moment, but it's like wearing
tattooed on
well,
your
I've
hand.
got mine tattooed on my bum, but you're not seeing that.
I don't want to see your Sally. Keep your daps on.
Hang on, how does it go? Upside down, Miss Jane. But people have no option but to know now. So it's like, well,
I've got my FMA on my leg. There we go.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So but that's what I mean is that when I mean, how long ago did I meet you, Sal? It was before COVID.
It was before COVID. Yeah. It was quite a while before COVID.
I don't know, something like that. But a spiritual person can feel another spiritual person.
Yeah.
So for that, I would have come out to you basically, and and that would have been fine. But for everyday life, like my neighbours, I remember the kids would go to school, and particularly our youngest, and he would tell his friends, oh, my mum talks to dead people. And And I had a real fear of that because I thought, oh, good God, can you imagine these kids going home and saying, oh, you know, his mum talks to dead people? And
that's not our problem.
I know. And that's really, and yeah, it doesn't anymore.
No.
You know, some people are good at doing electrical, some people are great at cake decorating. I just happen to speak to spirits.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until it's probably only been the last few years since COVID where I am basically, I've walked out of the closet. I'm out, I'm there, I'm proud, and that's why I got this tattoo.
The broom, yep.
Broomstick, I can say better. Because that was for me saying I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm proud of who I am. If you don't understand it, that's okay. You know, but it does take a lot.
It's a you problem, not a me problem. Yeah.
Yeah, Kimmy's saying you've all taught me so much. That's the whole idea. I love it. Now, ladies, we've been on for an hour and a half. And
crikey.
I know.
When did that happen?
I don't know. So it's it's 9 o'clock. So we might leave the rest of those questions, including the questions that you guys had and the one that we were talking about.
Damn.
No, I've written it down, and you've got to write it down to remind me because my brain will. Yeah. So I think we'll leave those for next time. And do we have any more questions just as we're wrapping up? Dave says, I could ask at least 10 more questions. I look forward to next. Hey, we could talk all night, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
True, yeah.
But eventually we're going to need a wee, so we better go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But, look, this is really important that we do these. So, you know, there's so many people out there that have got the same questions or are dealing with the same sorts of things. And every one of us is on a different journey at a different stage. And the reason I love these two ladies is because, like I said before, we are all very similar, but we're all very different. But there is so much respect between the three of us for our different individual ways and quirks and things like that. And as much as, you know, like Kimmy was saying that she's learned from us, I learned from you guys too. So thank you. And it feels like a real, I guess it's without being too lovey-dovey, it is a sisterhood, but it includes our brothers as well, those the guys that have these abilities and are spiritual. But for me, like I have spoken to both of you at different times and asked questions and asked for guidance, and I get that you know, with open heart and no judgment, and I really, really appreciate that. So thank you guys.
Same back the other way.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. And even if it is like crazy in the middle of the night and I've rung Kate because some weird shit's happened and I'm in Melbourne on my own
and surprisingly, I'm awake.
Oh, that's why your green light's on all the time, is it?
I'm awake.
Well, I'm awake because I've seen your green light on. Yeah.
Saying thanks for your time tonight. Love listening, and thanks for answering my questions. Not a problem. Please like and share this and share it onto your page because we will be doing. We'll try and do get our schedules together and try and do it monthly again. I haven't spoken to the girls about that, but we'll try and get on.
We know now.
Yeah. But we'll talk.
Like we're gonna say no. So seriously.
Look, if you've got any questions for any of us, please just pop them in the comments down the bottom. Go and head over and like their pages so you can connect with them directly if there's a question that you would like to ask them. So Sally is from Spirit Hands. I'll put these links up later. Spirit Hands or the Witchy Nook. And Kate is from Hectic Paranormal down in Victoria. So I'll put those links up. Go and like their pages, show them some love. and and connect with them through that. If you want to connect with Kate, just be aware that there are other people, investigators on that page. So just say, I've got a message for Kate, or I want to chat with Kate. With Sal, Spirit Hands is yours, so you can get Sal through there. But if you go through the Witchy Nook, the same thing. That is a business, and just if you want to message them, that's fine, but just say, I'm trying to connect with Sal. With me, you can just connect through this way. It's good night, ladies. Take care, ladies. Tanya Young saying hello. Hello, Tanya, but we're just about to finish, so if you want to wait a couple of minutes and go and watch us from the beginning, that would be great. All right, ladies, thank you so much. Just quickly, Sal, what have you got coming up? Anything that you want to promote?
Not really, just readings at the Witchy Nook every Wednesday.
In Port Macquarie?
In Port Macquarie, yes. Head on to the Witchy Nook page and all the workshops. So if you happen to be on the mid-north coast, come and see us.
Yep, excellent. And Kate, what have you got coming up? Anything, Dom?
Well, we are on a bit of a hot hiatus at the moment.
Yes.
But to jump onto Hectic Paranormal page, if you want to follow me on TikTok, Hectic Hag on TikTok. But yeah, just jump onto Hectic Paranormal page and watch us have hectic times. It's as simple as that.
I watched it recently when you guys got your care package from Canada.
How funny was that?
That was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Sorry, Sal?
Thank you.
Thanks again for another awesome night, and take care, and we will see you guys hopefully next month. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.